Okay, good morning once again. I'm going to begin by introducing each of our esteemed panelists and telling you just a little bit about their backgrounds. Again, their extended biographies, and they're very accomplished individuals who have done an incredible amount of work in the area of reform and reentry are available in the program booklets, and again by going to www.sfgov.org/PD, you can download the program in the BIOS. I'd first like to introduce Terry Anders. Terry Anders is a former parolee. In 1989, Terry was facing 140 years in prison for bank robbery in federal court. Miraculously, he obtained a reduced sentence, and he not only turned his life around and has been drug-free since that time, but he started an employment service training program which trained formerly incarcerated individuals to become iron workers. In 2003, he started his own company, Anders & Anders, which is a job placement and referral provider. Our next panelist is Dr. Barry Chrisberg. Dr. Chrisberg is a nationally known researcher and expert on juvenile justice and criminal justice reform. He has been utilized as an expert, both as a witness and researcher by the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation in both criminal and juvenile rehabilitation. He's conducted many studies in California and around the country. He is the president of the National Council on Crime and Delinquency, where he has served in that capacity for 14 years. I see our esteemed district attorney, Kamala Harris, and thank you for being here. Kamala Harris is the first African-American woman to be elected district attorney in California and the first woman to be elected district attorney in San Francisco. She was elected in 2003. And District Attorney Harris has been a strong supporter of programs that offer rehabilitative opportunities to persons who are charged with drug offenses, mental health, and she started really a model program that's called Back on Track, and she's going to talk about that, and it helps people who are charged with low-level drug offenses obtain wraparound services, including employment, education, housing. She has also developed community-based violence response teams and actually does work in the community to help victims of crime and people who are at risk of being either victims of crime or involved in criminal activities. She was recently elected to the National District Attorneys Association Board of Directors, and she's chairing the Reentry Committee. They actually have a Reentry Committee for the...
We do now.
Oh, okay, all right. Ross Mirakarimi, who you heard from earlier, again, I want to thank Ross because it was really Ross who pulled this together and had this idea of focusing on reentry. And together with the District Attorney's Reentry Council, those two forces coming together were responsible for setting this agenda that we're going to be addressing today. And Ross, along with Supervisor Chris Daly and other members of the Budget Committee, also appropriated funding. And so this is a program that's already in motion and going forward. Thank you. Thank you, Supervisor Mirakarimi. Art Faro is the acting chief of the Adult Probation Department. He's been in probation, working in probation since 1985, first in Ventura County and then in San Diego, before coming here to San Francisco in 1989. He's worked in every capacity in the probation department and now supervises the work of all the probation officers and support staff. Thanks for being here, Art. Shirley Poe is the regional parole administrator for Region 2, which includes Oakland and San Francisco. So she's in charge of parole for the entire Bay Area. She has over 29 years of experience working in criminal justice. That's really amazing. and has worked as a state probation officer, as a parole agent, has also served as a hearing officer on the parole board. And in 2003, Shirley has taken on the responsibility of creating a new reform plan around parole for the Department of Corrections. So thank you for being here, Shirley. Sheriff Mike Hennessy was elected in 1979. Yeah, I was in high school then. 1979. That's 25 years.
So was I,
25
Jeff.
years.
I was in high school then, too.
But so in all seriousness, he's established himself as really one of the leaders of both innovative and compassionate programs. His program, RSVP, Resolve to Stop the Violence, was featured on Oprah Winfrey. And this is a program that reaches out to persons who are charged with violent offenses, which almost no one, is willing to deal with. And what he was able to do is create a program that not only empowered folks, but brought them education, brought them employment, and brought them therapeutic counseling and anger management. He's also started a school. Isn't this a novel idea? A school for people in jail. And you can actually attend this school. It's called the Five Key School while you're in custody. And you can continue on the site that they have out of custody. This is an incredible program. And so with the support of the Reentry Council, Sheriff Hennessy has designed a new program known as the No Violence Alliance to help returning prisoners integrate into society. So thank you very much, Sheriff Hennessy. Our last introduction is Michael Bean. Michael is a personal hero of mine. He is a lawyer who has brought major civil rights lawsuits against state and federal corrections. When you read about all the lawsuits that have been filed, whether it was the Valdivia case, which provided for lawyers at parole hearings, and also changed the time constraints that parole hearings have to be held. Michael Bean was the lead counsel in that case. He has also brought lawsuits challenging health care in the prison system, which resulted in a federal judge taking over health care in the Department of Corrections. And thank you very much for being here, Michael. So I'm going to start with some specific questions for each of our panelists. And you will have an opportunity to ask some questions at the end of the panel. So I'm going to start with our district attorney, Kamala Harris.